The following vodcast contains opinions from paid professionals. The information provided in this vodcast is general in nature and not advice. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit www.gamblinghelponline.org.au.
Cox Plate Spring Champion edition of Finding Winners. Ally Mosley, before we get into this Saturday's racing, we reflect on maybe one of the best days I've ever had on track at the Everest, plus the Caulfield Cup. But how special was it to be at Randwick?
It was special, Em, and it was special just to see everyone so excited. My highlight of the day is probably a bit obscure, but it's when you and I were waiting for Caulfield Rising to get off the truck. We were there in our outfits and we were hiding in this little tunnel where the horses sort of sometimes go and get away from everything. And there was just this moment that I had when you and I were standing there, and I thought, this is something we will remember.
We will.
Forever. We will never forget
And
this.
we made sure we got a photo.
Yeah, we got a picky of us, kind of. We might be able to flash it up, but I don't know what it was, but it just epitomised the day and what it was all about. We were running. Everywhere we went, we were running, and there was just this buzz around the racecourse, wasn't there?
It was truly incredible, and to wait to see him get off the float was special. A lot of other media waiting for him. Let's talk about the world's best sprinter. He is undoubtedly now the world's best horse. Of course, we had the running of the Champion Stakes over in the UK at Ascot on the weekend, and we didn't get anything to surpass him there. So Caulfield Rising, another congratulations to Zach Burton. He rode the perfect race. I thought Ethan Brown was so cheeky on Jimmy Star, trying to hem him in. It was such a good tactical ride. Yeah. David Hayes in the Master We Trust. I think we all wanted to find something to beat him just due to the price.
Absolutely, and that was
class
all
prevailed.
it was, wasn't it? I always thought to myself, I'd rather take Jimmy Star each way and get him, I think he was about $2.50 a place, than $1.80 about Caulfield Rising. But it was a fantastic result for racing.
Yeah.
It put the Everest on the map from a world perspective. I think this will be a game changer for the race and what he was able to do. David Hayes and Zach Burton were so kind with their time to have them here. David Hayes was signing autographs out the back.
He would have loved it.
It was the coolest thing just to see it. He was like a rock star. He had his rock star glasses on.
They are rock star, aren't they?
Rock star.
There's something 70s kind of.
Oh, yeah, but we won't. 70-something. 70-something.
Something about them.
Oh, he's totally a rock star. And so is Zach. And even I said to David just before Caulfield was about to go out, I said, do you think we could do something? And he said, yeah, go stand with him. And he was just so good with his time, and it couldn't have gone better for racing, could it? It was the best, one of the best days I've had. Yeah.
And being able to see him cool, calm and collected as well, I made sure that I went down to the jockey's room and I told Zach, and I was like,
you're on, man.
I've got good news for you. And his eyes lit up. He was like, thank you for letting me know.
And I love that. And he would have appreciated that too.
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people were coming to tell him. So I made sure that I gave him the news, and once he jumped on board, it was all over Red Rover. The King Charles III, what a result for a horse that was maligned by us as well.
Absolutely.
Joe Pride is the master of applying blinkers in the perfect situation. Charwolf, his third Group 1, so the greatest horse of his career by Group 1s now. Chad Schofield had come under a little bit of pressure due to his rides on board him in the last couple of starts, but just a champion miler in the making. Mr. Brightside, he is a champion miler, and he was tough with, sitting wide the trip.
Yeah, and Joe's always been so loyal to Chad as well, especially after, the first up run. There was a lot of negative backlash from that ride, but beyond that, I don't think Chad did anything wrong, and he was just a victim of circumstance, but it all just mapped perfectly for him on the weekend, the way it played out. I thought obviously Mr. Brightside was the unlucky one. He has just come back. I thought it was one of his best runs.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Quite honestly. To run second and still say it was one of his best runs. What that horse has been able to do for his connections, to travel to Hong Kong, to come back and be in such good order. He's just an absolute marvel, that horse.
It didn't pan out the way we thought, though. We thought Jenny would put her traditional margin on her rivals. That didn't happen. So I think the race shape for a lot of jocks sitting in that chasing pack, so to speak, were going, oh, wow, okay, well, we're a lot closer here. We're a chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their minds would have been spinning a bit.
Yeah, but it was a great ride as well from Chad, and I love that photo afterwards when he went and saw him and gave him a cuddle, and I'm just pleased for the team. And I'd had a chat to Joe Pride that week on the Tuesday morning at track work, and we'd spoken obviously about Chaya Wolf, about Attica. I went and got to have a look at Attica, who we'll touch on later. But he said to me, I can't believe all these knockers on Car Ying Rising and David Hayes as a trainer. They're just going to have egg on their face, aren't they?
Yep.
And I thought, well, you're probably bang on there.
So
and he was right.
A great victory for Char Wolf there. Jamie Mellon, first female jockey to win a Caulfield Cup, a real feather in her cap. She's won a major now. So that really elevates her to the next level of jockey stardom, I think. Half yours, 2 kilo penalty into the Melbourne Cup is a big penalty. But if he gets the 2 miles, he's a horse in form. He's certainly fit.
Yeah.
Haven't been up and running for a long time. But Tony Calvin McAvoy, some of your old pals, what a training performance to get him to really peak on his game day.
And they've had a long association with Jamie as well in Adelaide.
2SA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so to see that whole relationship come to fruition with a major in the Caulfield Cup, and Jamie said after the race, I've won one and now I just want more, which I love. She's got that fire in her belly heading into Cup Week, which is what you need.
Yep.
Don't you? So
Need to light that
and
fire.
it was a perfect ride.
It was. On the turn, I was like, oh, gosh, what's going to happen here? But just
Very calm.
amazing little sprint in his legs. And then hearts were broken, especially for a lot of multiplayers this week with Sir Delius coming out of the Cox Plate and the Melbourne Cup due to veterinary protocols. He was scanned with a CT and a PET scan by the RV vets. He won't go around this weekend in Sydney, and I think that's the right call. Just put him out for a nice spell. Love to see him back in the autumn for something really nice like the Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, and we talk a lot, and I spoke about this on radio on Monday, about these scans and whether you think that they're too harsh or not. At the end of the day, it's all for equine welfare and it's all for us to keep our industry alive. We want to be here for another 20, 30 years, and the way that we're heading, I think we need to be able to protect ourselves as much as we can and not have horses break down catastrophically. He'll go out for a spell. Any underlying issues that he had will no doubt be... So what happens when they go out for a spell is that essentially their bones are able to heal pretty much. So that's exactly what he'll be able to do, and he'll come back bigger and better and be our next Wait for Age star.
Completely agree with you there. Speaking of Wait for Age stars, time to dip into the final WS Cox Plate at Moonee Valley as we know it. Of course, the redevelopment to take place over the next 21 months. Do you have a favourite Cox Plate moment? I was going through this week some of my favourites. You flash back to the 80s and the Bill Collins calls of Kingston Town can't win, and then Bone Crusher, our Waverley Star, like an absolute classic, a race for the ages. For when I've been around racing, not looking back on the tapes, obviously Maccabi Diva in 2005 as she marched onto a third Melbourne Cup, the wall of horses fanning running rail to running rail is like the most iconic photo in racing for mine, with Bossy just sitting perched like a little quiet church mouse. Foo winning at 9, an unbelievable achievement. And then the last 4 years, going back, we've had some remarkable Cox Plates, and the stories around them the last 4 years. We think about State of Rest and Animo and the protest, which was controversially dismissed, and then Animo, this time for the Big A, coming back for redemption the next year, which was such a brave move from James Cummings to keep him in training as a 4-year-old entie. And then Romantic Warrior, remembering James McDonald in the middle of the year going, he's going to be hard to beat come Cox Plate time. And people laughing, going, Hong Kong, 2,000 metre horse, that's cute. That's real cute. And then to win by an absolute slither over Mr. Brightside. And then last year, obviously, Via Sistina after the track work incident.
The Bone Crusher, our Waverley Star, is obviously one that I look back on and love, but ones where I've been there, they have to be the Winx era. And I was in Melbourne for them all and seeing every year someone would come and be her challenger. It was Winx v Hartnell. I remember they even did a photo shoot of boxing gloves or something like that. And, we looked back and laughed about it. The European horse who came out to challenge her, and I remember Matt Chapman, the outspoken UK guy, I had to chaperone him around the Cox Plate, and he was just absolutely on one, telling everybody that she was a myth and this, that, and the other. And was it Ben Battle?
Ben Battle. And then she went straight past
and then she
him.
said, "See you, mate." But just the whole Winx era for me was the most exciting, and being able to watch it and be a part of it.
It's
was special.
I mean, she's a very special story in terms of Cox Plate folklore. So final edition. We don't have a vintage edition of the Cox Plate this year. We're also, I'd say, slightly down on numbers, 9 runners in the field. Via Sistina looking to go back to back. The most fascinating thing for me, though, when it comes to the Cox Plate this year is the map. So Globe has had a slight setback.
Globe's out.
Oh, breaking news.
He's just come up as a scratching on my TAB app.
Wow.
So this must be breaking news.
This has literally
I
happened in the
think
last minute or two.
We need to
Thank God you've got the
have a
live
look
internet
at this.
going
I've
on
got the
there.
live internet.
Okay, so Globe was the pace in the race. So that leaves, I'm guessing, light infantryman to cross from a wide gate if he can.
Wow.
And lead from the get-go. That's going to make things even tougher now for Via Sistina, isn't it? Because she does want pace on.
I can't see. I'm trying to find. I look on the X for all my news, and I can't find an official tweet. But it must have literally just happened.
Scratched.
This is breaking news. Well, for us, it's going to be obviously
people
in
listening
arrears
to this
by
in a
the
few
time.
hours will be like, yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
But we haven't at the time. So, okay,
This changes things.
It does. It changes things significantly. And it means that signature move of Blake Shin on board and Tino now is going to be absolutely crucial to be able to get those back markers. And I put that back markers into the race. So I presume, well, now I thought Via would be back.
Well, we've talked about this all morning and what we think of the map, who sits where, what happens, without thinking about Globe coming out. So this has just blown everything up, hasn't it?
So Via Sistina's drawn in 6. So midfield, so to speak, now that we've got 8 runners in a Cox Plate, she will have to try and settle a little bit closer, you would have thought.
Well, it's grand final day. So if she's not close enough and she's looking back thinking, well, James McDonald looks back and thinks, I wish I'd sat closer, that won't be happening.
Okay,
That just won't happen.
Can I throw up something really wild?
Yeah.
Could she lead?
She could. Well, from what I heard Waller say...
Could she just throw a real spanner in there?
Well, Waller never alludes to this, but after the gallop on Tuesday morning, it sounded as though he said it's grand final, we won't be leaving anything to chance. If she needs to go and be there, that's where she'll be. That was the impression that I got from that interview. But I think light infantryman wants to be up there. I think nepotism will roll forward from the barrier, and Tino could do anything. I mean, Blake Shin is radical in a good way. He's a radical rider. So what could happen? This has just become it already was a tactical affair, and now it is just another level of tactics, isn't it?
I think our thoughts on the map just get thrown in the bin. And I actually think all maps get thrown into the bin because this is the magic of the Cox Plate now. I reckon...
Well, you said at the start... Yeah. What's the story?
The story is how
this will unfold.
It's the tactical race that unfolds. And people can try and do maps. They are not going to work. It's just going to unfold when the gates open. And some of these jocks, they might have other plans inside their head. We've heard from Zach Lloyd this week, obviously nepotism, 49.5 kilos. He's not going to waste that weight. So he's going to be right there as well.
Look, so there's 2 horses here, Em, that we've put in our lost file. That is Treasure the Moment and Nepotism. They could come out and Quinella the Cox Plate. And you know what? I'd be happy for them too.
So happy.
But going back, I had to land on Via, and I tried to find another. But the way that I looked at it was class prevails, and all week I've had this quote in the back of my mind is that form is temporary and class is permanent. Grand final day, James McDonald, Chris Waller, they'll leave nothing to chance. She galloped like a star on Tuesday morning, and she wasn't even let off the bridle. James couldn't, I don't think, hold her
The big boat, as he calls it.
The big boat, the big aeroplane as she cruised around. But she loves the valley. I think despite Globe coming out, she is still the class. Is she a length or 2 below where she was last prep? Possibly. Did that first up run take a bit out of her? Has she not had it to suit, obviously, as well? I think there'll be more pressure. It's a Cox Plate. It's not going to be a slowly run race, regardless of whichever way you look at it. Someone will take it up. So I had to land with her. But I think nepotism is the fly. I know. I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe it. I'm actually I'm shocking myself. I think nepotism is the fly in the ointment, Em. He's the gamble. He's the one that we haven't seen what he's capable of yet. I think he's obviously getting to that trip where he's a bit more dour and he's ready for this. What he was able to do in a Caulfield Guineas sectionally, I mean, he's still probably trying to get out and hit the line. I just had to have something on him.
Yeah. Okay, well, my bet in the race would be Via Sistina, and I think she'll drift now with Globe coming out. She will drift in the market. So she's a play. She's the best horse in the field. And if anything, we learnt something from last Saturday is that always look at the best horse in the field despite all the knocks.
Yep. And it doesn't mean that you necessarily want to take them maybe at that price, but it doesn't mean you can't suggest that they'll still be winning.
Buckaroo, I think, at $15-ish. I think he's an each-way play as well to figure in the multiples. But now a field of 8 to round out the Cox Plate as we try and wrap our head around what might happen.
What just happened? You know what? And if we hadn't checked that market, we wouldn't have even seen that
You're
Globe
a jet.
was a scratchy.
Okay. Friday night, final night meeting at the Valley. And I always do love a Friday night Valley meeting. They have been bread and butter there in the spring and summer months for many, many a year. We've got the running of the Moonee Valley Gold Cup over the 2,500 metres. The last win, and you're in race for the Lexus Melbourne Cup on the first Tuesday in November. Interesting that they scratched one smooth operator out of the Geelong Cup, the rescheduled meeting today, to run on Friday night instead. Does he win, booking himself a spot? Mark Zara riding on Friday night, which leaves, if he were to win, I mean, Mark's already booked for Al Riffa. So there's an opportunity there. The other one, you want to go with Athabaskan, don't you?
How did you know?
Well, I mean, I know you, but you probably want rain, right?
Yeah, ideally, which they've got we're obviously in Sydney, but I'm being told that there is a little bit of rain around. Obviously, there was yesterday, and there'll be a sprinkle in the next couple of days too. So between now and tomorrow. So I just feel as though you can really forgive almost every single run, and where his run on paper hasn't been how it's played out.
Okay, so they're just quick plays because we spent a lot of time on the Cox Plate. We don't want to delve too much more into it. And, of course, we need the running of the Geelong Cup today. So back up to Sydney we go for the running of the Spring Champion Stakes for the 3-year-olds over the 2,000 metres at Group 1 level. We've got 2 vying for favouritism here in Attica for Joe Pride, who's just on a heater at the moment, with Adam Hieronymus on board, who'll also go down to ride Bivarked in the Coolmore.
And I'm so pleased for Hippo.
Yeah.
I think it's very deserved.
So Shangri-La Boy, to be ridden by Nash, Waterhouse Bot, they're duelling at the moment. So how did this unfold with Hippo?
So Hippo had already committed to Attica until he came out and won on Shangri-La Boy. And, of course, he's already got that association, having ridden Storm Boy, who's the half to Shangri-La Boy. So I did say to him, what do you think? And he said, I'm more than happy on Attica, but it's not an ideal situation, is it? And now Attica's drawn 13.
So they're the 2 that you'd be looking at. Federalist is the blue blood. He was $1 million purchase out of the Wonder Mare in Arcadia Queen for some very heavy hitting type connections for Team Hawks. Could he break his maiden in a Spring Champion Stakes? He's 5 starts, 0 wins, 0 seconds, 0 thirds. I mean, his pattern doesn't make it easy because he gets back and he does seem to find an awful amount of trouble. The other interesting horse in the field is Within the Law. So they're backing up this filly from the King Charles III, the 1 week back up from a Group 1 weight for age contest over the mile up to the 2. Geez, it's bold placement. Yeah. It is. She must be made of tough stuff, this girl.
She is. We saw what happened in a Golden Slipper and the way that a lot of horses wouldn't mentally even come back from that. Yeah. She is tough. She's tough as teeth. So I think I'm not with her, but I can't believe that we're seeing her again. It's a credit to her as a horse and her durability as well. I actually liked one at odds there again because I thought, I love Attica. I think he's a beautiful specimen of a horse. He's still doing naughty. So he's still doing a few things wrong. He can be a little bit colty. I saw him in the box the other day. Joe let me go and have a look at him. He is stunning. He's a beautiful animal. Shangri-La Boy obviously just looks so well suited, but I just keep coming back to Master of the Air. And again, he's not drawn ideally, but I could totally forgive what happened at Rose Hill the other day to him. He's very well bred. He's out of Don't Doubt Mama. I think I tipped him here a couple of weeks ago again, but I just have to stick with him.
And up to the 2,000 metres, that's going to suit him. The thing about Attica, you might have heard the post-race interview once he won the listed race at Randwick a couple of weeks ago. And the start before he got beaten in a Class 1 at Kembla, they tinkered with a few different bits and bobs because he was getting very
So the first day
amorous.
When he came out at Warwick Farm, they almost couldn't saddle him. He was jumping on the fillies.
Yeah. So the quote from Joe Pride was, "It's very hard to keep your testicles in my stable."
Yes, and fair enough. I'd say he'd be top of the list, although they won't let him.
No, good
They will not be going anywhere. No, and rightly so, right? But
I think the map is just so in favour of Shangri-La Boy, drawing in right there on speed. Waterhouse Bot, he's a talent. Nash will get the best out of him. He'll niggle him till the death.
Yep.
I'm finding it hard to see how Attica can storm home if there's not enough tempo because they're going to go back, as is his pattern, from that wide gate and try and rattle home.
Champagne Hero was a really unlucky run last start too. So I think it's really open. I don't think that we've got a clear-cut 2,000 metre star. I think we've got a few stars in the making.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think Shangri-La Boy will be hard to beat, but I've got to have something on Master of the Air.
If I'm filling the placings, because I think either Attica or Shangri-La Boy will they're the two win bets there. San Giovanni for
huge.
Michael Freedman, not just because of the family connection, but absolutely massive in the gloaming last start. Steps up in grade yet again, as all these do. But I just like that he's been building each and every start this preparation, and up to the 2,000 metres is going to suit this gelded son of Zoostar. So
Wouldn't it be great to see Andy?
I know.
Andy Randall
been-
get another Group 1.
I think 7 or 8 years.
It's been a while,
Since
But
Dixie Blossoms, was it? In
it
the
would be-
Cornwall Classic.
It'd be so well deserved, and he had a big smile on his face when he came back up
Would
to
love
San
to see
Giovanni.
him do that. And then the other big race at Randwick is the invitation for the fillies and the mares, worth $2 million. We've got two superstar mares going head to head here in Steffi Magnetica and Manal. Steffi's second up into the preparation. She's a 2-time Group 1 winner. Of course, having won the Stratty and the Doncaster. She is class, but so is Manal, and she is in arguably career best form, having won 2 Group 2s on the Bounce, the Shirako and the Golden Pendant. I want your views on Gerringong, because I think she's talented. She's 5th up. I don't think she's put it all together yet. The other one who I can entertain is Miss Rumbini, and also Gangster Granny, who I think is a Group 1 star in waiting.
So she's on the back up, obviously, Gerringong, and I had a chat to Adrian Bott at Trackwet this morning, and he said she's come through in super order. I think she's just been so unlucky again this prep. I mean, if you look back through, she's been thereabouts. She was second there behind Manal, beaten less than a length. She was behind Linebacker on the weekend running on. So I think she could be right in it. I have to stick with Steffi Magnetica though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's one of mine.
Manal's one of mine,
Yeah, I
obviously.
know,
But Miss Rombini terrifies me.
So I saw her at the beach the other day when she got scratched. So we went down to the beach. I took my pony Jerry down to the beach on Sunday morning.
So she just had a slight off blood, yeah?
I think so, yeah. But she looked very well when I saw her that morning. And we passed as I was coming back out of the water. They were just making their way down, and she had a splash. She loves it down there.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So I saw her and I said to Ben Elam, "Who's that?" He said, "This is Miss Rumbini." So
yeah, she terrifies me.
me too. But how good are the fields in Sydney this weekend?
Absolutely superb.
Strong fields, and into next week too. I mean, we'll talk about the Golden Eagle next week, but wowee.
Actually, let's talk about the Golden Eagle now, because we'll dip into the lost and found basket. And our lost horse, let's touch on the lost to begin with. I think it's this mare in Scarlet Oak. I think time has nearly got to be called on her career. She went round as a real short price favourite in a Queensland Oaks a couple of years ago. She won the Roses really impressively. She's not a big mare. She's quite small.
Quite narrow.
Yeah. She just hasn't really grown into herself as a mare. And I just think she's won a Group 2. She was, she's run nice races as a 3-year-old in some black type events, but she's just not putting it together. And I just don't think physically she's probably up to it now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have any changes to that lost file this week.
But the found is interesting, because we have a target insight for the found, which is Angel Capital.
That's right. He was probably almost the run of the race in the Everest, wasn't he? Outside of the winner, and Jimmy was huge, and there are a few hard luck stories, but he's still trying to get out, isn't he? And hit the line. I don't know whether they'll go for a Golden Eagle. I think Chris came out this week and said that the CF4 will be their target. I think that's what he'd said, but I'm really hoping that he goes for a Golden Eagle, because wowee, imagine that Golden Eagle. So you've got Autumn Glow, Angel Capital, Linebacker, who ran better sectionals than Kaiying Rising.
He was massive
on the weekend. He was huge.
I said to John O'Shea after the running of that race, I said, he'll be hard to beat in a Golden Eagle. He goes,
he always
crack
plays
field.
it down.
I was like, mate, he's just put 4 lengths on this
Trying
mob.
not to get too excited about it, I think. But then you've got the Japanese horse Panjatawa, who they also tell us is a freak. He'll be at track work tomorrow morning for everyone to go and have a look at Canterbury. And then even will he do it? I think the blinkers will go on for a Golden Eagle.
I just want to see him over further.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a serious race.
It is. So, okay, I want to see Angel Capital there, because I think as a stallion prospect, and that's what he is, that's a way more impressive thing on a CV nowadays than an oar. But Chris obviously has eyes for his Golden Girl and Autumn Glow,
And
who's
James
7 from
McDonald
7.
has elected to stay in Sydney to ride her to Miss Derby Day.
Come on, put your big bold call out there. We're not
I
here
think-
to put socks on caterpillars.
I think Autumn Glow will get beaten in a Golden Eagle. I can't believe I'm saying it. And now everyone will. I'll be the laughing stock of X.
No.
Everybody quote tweets it when she comes out and wins, and I hope I will be. I don't mind that. That's okay. Everyone can have a go at me.
This game is built on opinions.
It's all on opinions, and it's not because I don't want her to win. I
Do you
just
think if Angel
she's-
Capital's there, it makes it really tough for her?
Yeah, I do, and I think there's a lot of depth to this race, and
There
I think it'll be
is.
her hardest test yet.
I love it. I love that you're out there putting that out there so early. So lost and found, done. I just hope that both of our lost horses can be found, just not this current Saturday.
Except for nepotism, I wouldn't mind if he ran a big race.
Or treasure the moment.
Or treasure the moment too, yeah. I mean, GM, this could
It's
be...
hard. We wanted to find a more high-profile horse to put in the lost basket, but
Well, you've got to put yourself out there, don't you? That's the thing. It's all, like you said...
market expectation was perfect on the weekend in terms of what was expected to run well really did. So there's nothing we could put in there that was a big headline horse. We've got the running of the Kirkham Plate on Saturday as well. You're all across your 2-year-olds. There's one for Team Coolmore that I am very excited to see, but can you steer us into something at Randwick?
I'm hoping I can tip you the Quinella here.
She is not here to put socks on caterpillars today.
Go hard or go home this week. So that's Defenceman who you touched on. So by Wooten Bassett, of course, trialled like a jet. Is actually down to trial tomorrow, but I believe that they will head to the races on Saturday. So I'm tipping Defenceman to win. And then I had a chat to Pete Snowden about Pearl of Dubai, so he's a half to Pride of Dubai, very well bred, another Wooten Bassett. So not only am I tipping this Quinella, I'm also tipping Wooten Bassett here because I've got every faith that these two, Colt and filly, will run really well in a Kirkham. So it's her first preparation actually, this filly, Pearl of Dubai, for Pete Snowden, and he said she just keeps doing everything right.
Which people at home might be going, oh, well, yeah, Ali, because they're all debutantes going to it. No, but like a lot of the 2-year-olds have...
In and out.
They're in and out maybe 3 or 4 times before they actually get to the races. So for her to be doing this all first time into the yard at Randwick,
straight into a Kirkham. That's
amazing.
exactly what Pete said. And Pete doesn't do that often.
No.
He never pushes them unless they're ready. And he said, everything I've asked her to do, she stepped up to. She trialled well. He said, great. She came home, ate everything up. He said, she's a great doer. She just eats everything up, eats up her work. Then she trialled well again. And he said, I can't not put her in a Kirkham on the weekend.
All right, so that's the Quinella.
That's the Quinella.
I just love this big, bold version of you. I mean, you're always big and bold, but this is even more so.
I don't know why I'm so bold this week.
No, you're just feeling it. And you've got confidence in your beliefs, sister, and that's what I like. Okay, finally, let's just recap best bets of the day. Tips. So in the Cox Plate, we're both with Via. I'm going to play Buckaroo the place, I think. I think he's going really well. I think that run last start in the Caulfield Stakes and the Might and Power, just the 4-horse field, like just we can forget that.
Got it.
You're going to have something each way on nepotism.
I'm going to have something each way on nepotism. Again, I'm with Via. I think the class will prevail, but I think nepotism is the gamble and the question mark. And that's why you get the price, and that's why I'm going to have the gamble on our lost horse.
Spring Champion Stakes, I'm going to be with Shangri-La Boy with a place play on San Giovanni.
I'm the same with Shangri-La Boy, but then I think Master of the Air can run a really improved race too out to 2000.
And then in the invitation, Miss Rombini is the one that I think is on the up. I'm going to play her the place, but I do hope my little gal in Manal can win.
Yep, I agree. And I hope she does too. But I'm with Steffi Magnetica. And then in the calendar Presnell, Ruination is my horse. What's with me and Wooten Bassett's at the moment? Out of Daisy Doom.
Yeah, he was a bit
huge.
hard done by, wasn't he, last start?
He certainly was. So,
and I actually noted in that race, Tommy had the option to ride a couple and opted to go with Ruination. So that was his pick of the bunch there. Next week when we return, we will be into, Everest Caulfield Cup Day. What a day, right? But next Saturday, we have the Golden Eagle and the support card there, plus all the Group 1s at Flemington for Derby Day. It's going to be a great... It just keeps rolling on. It just keeps rolling on and
going.
on.
And I keep saying to you, Em, so Saturday night, just to preface this, Em and I had high hopes of going out and having a bit of fun on Saturday night.
The biggest of high
being
hopes.
Party gals, and we were in bed by 8 p.m. and 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
respectively. Wow.
I had one glass of Pinot courtesy of James Cummings.
Wow, we are just... What happened to us?
I don't know.
I'm so disappointed.
We've got to make amends here.
We've got to make amends. There's too much good racing. I'm getting too excited about the races and then I just burn out.
Well, we are a little bit lost. Maybe we can be found. Thanks for joining us on Finding Winners. We'll see you next week.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.